what if there is a gem right across the border that you definitely want to consider? Most of the people that are relocating to Texas automatically start looking into Dallas, Austin, San Antonio. But what if there is a gem right across the border that you definitely want to consider? With nearly 300 days of sunny sunshine, we are also a family-oriented environment. You are going to experience a big military presence, and we also are one of the largest safe cities in Texas. It's El Paso. And for those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Alexa. I'm the owner of a real estate team we have here in El Paso, and I'm also an investor. And my goal with these videos is to give you all the information you need to make an educated decision. A lot of the people that reach out to us, they are relocating to El Paso. So if that is you, we would love the opportunity to get on a Zoom call with you or get on a phone call and really get to understand where you're at and what are your goals. Now, for those of you that are just open to the idea of maybe purchasing, I have a lot of videos geared around education, questions to ask your agent, what mistakes to avoid. There is a whole playlist on my channel, so definitely check those out. But my goal with this video is for my people that are relocating to El Paso. I want you to know the good, the bad, and the ugly, and also figure out if this is really a place that you can see yourself living long term. Now, the first thing is like, what actually makes El Paso different? So the first thing here is the strong sense of community. You can go anywhere and people are actually friendly. Like, I've been in New York, and look, listen, I have some clients that are actually right now I have one client relocating from New York, and in the past I've had other clients relocate, and with me they've been super friendly, but I know that a lot of New Yorkers are not typically friendly. Like, I remember I went on a tour, had a book that was launched, and I went to go see it at the Times Square. And when I finished with the book tour, I told my guide, I was like, hey, I want to go ahead and just like explore, like, what do you recommend? And the first thing he told me, he was like, you're really friendly. You shouldn't be like that with the people here in New York. And I was like, why not? Like, what's wrong with that? They're not really friendly like that. And this is important for you because if you're not used to walking your dog down the street and, you know, making eye contact with somebody and somebody actually saying hi to you just because, it's gonna feel a little weird. But some of you, maybe you actually need that. And I know what it feels like to be in other cities where you don't actually feel like there's like a sense of community. And that is something that you will definitely get in El Paso. Also in El Paso, you're going to experience a slower pace of life and less congestion. Maybe for some of you that's like a no-go and you're like, Alexa, I need fast, go, go, go. This might not be the place for you. But in El Paso, if you're going from the west side to the east side, the commute with traffic, like at the worst hour, might take you an hour, okay? And I'm speaking from like moving back and forth at the high peaks of the day. And typically when I just got back from California, that out there is a mess. Like, if the GPS tells you that you're going to get to point B within 20 minutes at night, in the morning, that 20 minutes turns into an hour 40. It is crazy. That is not El Paso. So you are going to experience less congestion, more slower pace life that honestly feels really good. Depending on where you are in your journey, this might be something that actually really speaks to you, or maybe it doesn't. Now, I'm not going to pretend like it is calm everywhere, because if you're somebody that maybe you're a bachelor, you're, single, and you want to be close to areas that have more activity going on, there's definitely a place for you. But again, this is really where the sense of community comes into play. And if you are looking to have a place where maybe you can raise your kids, feel safe at night, El Paso is definitely something that you should consider. Now let's talk about the cost of living in El Paso. I know, some of you are gonna come for me in the comments, because it always happens, that negative Nancy or that negative Betty that basically wants to say like, there's nothing to do in El Paso. And look, there is, okay? There is always activities to do. It's just about who you surround yourself with. It's kind of like your RAS, right? Your reticular activating system. When you're always focusing on everything that's going wrong in your life, you're going to see more of that. And when you always focus on everything that you're blessed with, then you're going to see more of the blessings. It's the exact same thing when it comes to the activities. And why I felt the need to say that in the cost of living section is because if you compare living in, Denver, living in Austin, living in Dallas, like the average buyer needs minimum 400 to 600,000 to get a decent home. I'm talking about decent, not even like a nice bells and whistles home. When you actually understand that, if you come to El Paso, I will insert a photo right now of one of my latest listings. It is a beautiful resale home from Palo Verde. They're a very good reputation builder in El Paso. It has nice wooden beams. It has your stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, your oversized master, walk-in closet for $239,950. Yes, that is what I'm selling it for. And I share this with you because a lot of the times you think that you need a lot of money to get a good place. And that's just not simply true. So the cost of living, it's one of those things where maybe if you're like, Alexa, but I want to be, by the beach and I want to be having the concerts that are constantly coming into town, then maybe you have two options. Either live in a place that's really expensive and get a shoebox, because that's what you're going to get for a lower price, like what I just talked about, or live in a place that you feel safe and save so much money on what you're paying that you get to travel. So the cost of living is definitely something that is a lot more affordable. Now I want to get into some of the expenses around like utilities. So the first one, let's talk about your gas. So for a family of 6 people in my home, my gas bill comes out to about $80 a month. When it comes to my electric, that one is a little more expensive because I have a Tesla. So my car gets charged at home like a charger, like my phone gets charged at night. My car does the exact same thing. And that I pay close to like $300. Mind you, my AC is running 24/7. I am somebody that will tell my kids, wear a hoodie if you're cold, because I enjoy my space being really cold. When it comes to the water, I have never paid more than $100. Now, depending in the area you live in, the regional mud, or in this case, like the water company, what they will do is that they will charge you a base price. If you go above that, they charge you more for it. So regardless if you use X amount of gallons or not, they're going to charge that to you. And that's just something that, again, you want to consider as well, depending in the area. Like in Horizon, that's a thing. In Eastside, that's not a thing. You just pay for the gallons of water that you're using. But because Horizon is technically in the outskirts of like the El Paso County, they purchase water from El Paso Water, and then they have Horizon Water. So these are the little things that can definitely be something that you want to look into. But for me, that works perfectly fine. The water has never been more than $100. And this is like with us watering our plants and everything. So again, I know that I've had some people that have complained about how much their bills are coming in at. I always recommend that you actually pay attention to what you're paying, because ultimately there is known cases where there's leaks happening. And if that's something that you're experiencing, you definitely want to get that taken care of. But for the most part, the overall cost of living is relatively affordable. Another thing I want to get into is your food cost. I just went to Sprouts and I bought, groceries for the whole week. I typically either meal prep my food and purchase it, or I already meal prep it based off what I purchased to meal prep. And typically, if I go to Costco and I buy things for the entire month, I'm spending around $400 for a family of 6. Now, when it comes to Sprouts or Whole Foods, those are going to be a little bit different. Like the meal prep that I purchased for this week, I spent $140. Now, why is this going to be so important? Because I, again, just came back from California and I went to Target to buy groceries for the Airbnb that we were staying at. I spent $400. And I looked at my bill what did I buy? I got one cartage of eggs. I bought like 2 gallons of milk. I bought like very minimal things. And for me, that just goes to show like the cost of living out there is so much more expensive. Again, you have the beach there, so that's a trade-off that you're willing to have, then of course that's great. But for me at this time in my life, I just rather continue to save as much money as I can and inject that back into either stocks, real estate, growing my portfolios, other than just spending it for, you know, the nice place that I live in. Maybe that will change in the future, but for now, that is my thought process, and maybe it's the same for you. Affordability really isn't about finding the cheapest home. It really is about how much life can you afford after your mortgage payment. Like, are you in a situation where you're so strapped on cash that you can't go to take your kids to, you know, Peter Piper, or you can't go to the movies, you can't go to, you know, bowling night. These are the little things that for me are a great trade-off of living in El Paso. So maybe that is something that also aligns with you. Now, number 3 is the sunshine advantage. And this is something that I want to get into because approximately 297 sunny days, we have mild winters and very little snow. So this is perfect for my people that enjoy the outdoor hiking, outdoor living. Now, I do want to mention that we have mountains out here, okay? If you're in Florida, you know that obviously this is something that you actually really appreciate when you travel to other places because you don't have them there. So overall, if you like biking, if you like, you know, going to outdoor recreation centers, there is something for you to do. And when the weather does get a little bipolar on us, it typically lasts for a few hours, if that. Like the last time it was raining, and then within like a few minutes it stopped raining and the sunshine was like, hey, I'm here to dominate this day. So keep that in mind. Maybe that's something that for you doesn't really work, but for me personally, I enjoy the heat. I kind of feel like I'm going outside and I'm like, I read this book by Michael Singer, and he talks about like just being grateful for everything you have, right? So when you go outside, he's like, I just feel like the rays are like loving my body and giving me energy. So I stole that from him, and now I say that like when I go outside, I'm like, okay, the energy is charging me right now. So again, your RAS plays a huge factor here, but if you're somebody that doesn't like the heat, it's definitely not for you. Now, I will say there's a difference between humid heat and dry heat. I do not like humid heat. Like I can't do that. It just makes my hair go crazy and I feel sticky. I feel like I just got out of the shower and I'm already sticky. And I personally prefer the dry heat because although it's hot, it doesn't feel as overwhelming when I'm out doing outdoor activities, or if I'm out with clients, or if I have to go pick up the boys. It feels very moderate to the point where I can withstand that versus actually having to deal with humid heat. Now let's talk about safety, because I believe that this is where the misconceptions happen, especially because we're a border town. Some people are like, no, it's very dangerous, I would never. I will say this, I won't mention the cities, but I travel a lot, and the places that I've gone to, I have felt a lot more unsafe than in El Paso, even though those cities are not a border city. And this is why I say that here in El Paso, you feel like it's a community environment. Like there was this other day, I forgot where exactly it happened, but there was some guy that was like walking the neighborhood in a weird way. And because of how vigilant everybody is, right away the cops got called. They like made this big deal. And the other day, like this is just to give you an analogy of how safe it is, there was a car that was speeding, and I will admit I've kind of become a Karen at this point in my life. I'm 29, and yes, I am kind of a Karen because I saw this car racing this motorcycle. And look, I'm a Karen because I care about like, there could be a kid that's like walking the street and these cars don't see them, or there could be a dog that's crossing the street and it gets run over. Like my mind just goes to these places. So I'm doing my walk around the park, I see this happen, I call the cops and I'm like, there's some racing happening, you guys need to send a patrol. Within 2 minutes the patrol was out there, and I will say, like, from big cities, if you call the cops because of how crazy things are out there, the cops will take forever to actually even answer your call, let alone send a patrol car out there. So for me, this is something that I am okay with, like the trade-off of not having as many amusement parks or activities that some people are like, oh, I really like this place because of these areas and these activities that I can do with my family. I'd rather that trade-off for safety. Now, I want to talk about the different areas in El Paso, because a lot of the times when you're relocating, you think that a price in a certain area is very appealing. So therefore you're like, oh, I'm going to buy in that area. But if you're not careful, you can end up in the wrong area of what you actually wanted. So I'll give you an example. Maybe you work on Fort Bliss and you want to have close access to get to work every day. Maybe you want no more than 20-30 minutes of commute. If I put you in somewhere like Socorro, although a lot of my clients like Socorro, you will end up really far from your commute. Some law enforcement people that have actually purchased in like the outskirts of El Paso because they want privacy and they don't mind the commute, but maybe that's not something for you. So that's definitely something to consider. When you are talking with your agent, you want to make sure that they actually tell you like feedback from that area, because I will say there are some areas that are just not taken care of because of the people that live there. So this is really where you want to make sure that if you have somebody like me that loves to go make videos, I will make sure that before you commit to an area, I show you what's around so that you can actually decide, does that area work? And I've talked about this before in other videos, but there was one time a house, a beautiful house, but right next to it, there was the crazy house, and the crazy house had a bunch of gnomes, like the little gnomes all around. I hope I can find a picture and I'll insert it for you guys, but it was on the ceiling, it was on the lawn, it was everywhere. And hey, maybe this person really loved gnomes and that's cool, but I would not want to live next to that, okay? Like my resale values would definitely be impacted by that. I don't know if that house ever sold. I never did more research on it. But again, this is something that you definitely want to consider. So we have the east side, we have the west side, we have the far east, we have Horizon, we have the northeast, and we have the lower valley. Now there's more pockets that I can get into, but those are the main ones that you're going to hear. So again, if you are relocating to El Paso, you just want to make sure you understand what pocket you're going to be living in to ensure it works for your day-to-day activities. Now let's talk about the job market and the economy. So the major employers here are going to be Fort Bliss, your healthcare, you're going to have education, government, logistics, and cross-border trade. Now, the stable job market often creates stable housing market. So that's something you want to consider. I know a lot of the times when I make these videos, there's people that will start saying things like, oh, it's just so expensive to purchase anything nowadays. And I hear you, I really do. But for me, I'm of the mindset that I can sit here and complain, or I can try to provide more value to the market so that I'm compensated for my value adequately. And that's why, like, I'm a firm believer of everybody, like, if you feel called to, like, start your own business. There's a lot of people that are just hustlers. Like, they start another side job, they have their 9-to-5, and then eventually they start with something separate. All of a sudden, they're like doing so much better at their separate job that they let go of their 9-to-5. And it's really just about taking that risk, or again, being at the mercy of somebody that's your boss, and maybe they cut you out, or maybe they tell you, hey, the hours are going to change, and now you feel really trapped. But overall, I do believe that there is a strong economy happening here in El Paso. Just this last, what was it, on June? Actually in March. In March, I had a person request an extended stay for my Airbnb, and they're going to be there until close to the end of the year. So they're relocating, they're not relocating, but they're moving here for a temporary stay because they're working on a project here in El Paso. And these are the kind of things that I share about how important it is for you to just make sure that you are out there seeking your opportunities. And I always preach about this. Like, I believe that everybody should become an investor at some point, because becoming an investor just means like you purchase a real estate property and then you turn that property into a cash producing asset, and you do it again and you do it again. Now, whether you decide to stop in the first one, that's totally up to you. But I do believe that if that's something that's in your mind and you do it correctly with the right people, it can definitely pay off. Let's get into the cons of things that people don't like about El Paso. So one of them is the summer heat. We've talked about this, but yes, it is not for everybody. It is not for the faint of heart. It can get pretty hot. Like, we've experienced 110s, and to some people, like 110 is just like crazy and they could never. For us, we're kind of used to it. So 110, again, I feel like I'm being wrapped around a warm blanket and I'm okay with it. Nightlife that you're experiencing out here, when you're comparing it to like Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, it is a true thing. Like, the nightlife does not compare to those areas. Like, I have some family members, they just graduated, they relocated to Austin, they're going to college out there, and I know that one of the big things that they're looking for is like the nightlife. They're teens, so of course they want to experience that. But overall, that's something that you just want to keep in mind, because if you are like a party person, then maybe El Paso is going to feel a little boring for you. Like I said, there is a nightlife, and yes, they close at like 2 a.m. in a lot of bars and places like that, but it's not going to be to the same caliber that I've seen in other areas. Another thing is the public transportation limitations. We don't have a metro here. So if you're looking to have like a subway that's going to take you, it's not going to work. You really do need a car. So that's something that you would really need to invest in. You can Uber, but it's going to get expensive. So overall, having a car is definitely a requirement. Now, some areas are still developing. So that's something that a lot of people don't like. I will agree. I am those people. Sometimes when I'm leaving my area where they're doing some development, I'm like, why is it taking so long? But I'm part of the government affairs, and I have also realized that these things that are happening are also beneficial because it's helping the overall city grow. So again, it's like a double-edged sword. You just have to kind of, let that be and focus on the positive. And the last thing that I'll mention is, if you are looking to maybe start in like a big company and you are looking to maybe be around that type of people, in El Paso, you're going to have some very successful people, but you have to put yourself out there. Like, you have to go to networking events, you have to go to masterminds, you have to put yourself in those groups. If not, like if you compare it to somewhere like Dallas, Miami, that's always having these events everywhere at all times, you're going to feel like you're not really in close proximity to some of these circles, but they're there. You just have to be willing to look for them and get involved. So who is El Paso really perfect for? Okay, so the first category is my military families, people that are PCSing to El Paso, people that are actually looking for safety, that are looking for that sense of community, people that are maybe retiring, people that no longer are worried about, what exact area they're living in, as long as it's a safe area and they have the affordability that they need in order for them to be able to really spend their money how they're going to need. And also for remote workers, like remote workers do really great out here, because again, you're saving so much of your money that when you do decide to go to Dubai, Tokyo, Paris, wherever you're going, you have so much money saved because you actually are saving a lot more than you would if you were living in California or a big city. So this is definitely something to consider. At the end of the day, it's not just about relocating to El Paso, it's really deciding what is best for you and your family. So if you found any value in this video, go ahead and leave us a comment down below, giving us some of the takeaways that maybe you agree with or don't agree with. If you're also somebody that already lives in El Paso and you want to add anything that I missed, feel free to do so. And again, like I mentioned before, if you and your family are thinking about relocating in a month or a year, send us a message. We have a calendar link that you can go ahead and book a slot with me so that we can get on a call and really put a game plan together for you and your family. So with that, I just want to say thank you for continuing to support the channel. Thank you for coming back, and I will talk to you guys on the next one.